Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to repeat this matchup between Teeth and France 6. We played this before, but at that game I thought we had it, but we actually got 8 towns at some point. And of course the loss condition says if you ever cannot place a town, more than 7 towns, we should lose. And we should have done that. We should have lost because we had 8 towns. And that is kind of an important rule. That is one reason why France is difficult. So if we skip that rule, that will become a lot more easy, of course. So let's do it again. And this time I have added a thing to the client so that if we add too many towns like this, we will have a red indication, making sure that we don't miss that rule ever again. So let's try this again and do it proper this time.
Initial explore. Mountains.
We have a persistent explorer. Let's add it here.
Turn 1. Grow phase.
And we are going to want to look for some miners. Let's see what we can get here. We have we want to find something with animals is the most important thing, and defense card. And we did get 2 defense card here, but this also have animals, so Carpus Land looks like a perfect card here. Of course it is good if it has fire, but the animal is more important. Let's take that one, and we can add a presence from the bottom track. I'm going to go bottom track, full bottom track, so that we can, if possible, reach the lowest level here as soon as possible. We are going to add this presence towards the mountains. Let's add it here.
Play powers.
And we are not going to want to play defense powers. We are not going to want to play her towards the lurking maw, because when he explores, he will explore with 2 explorers. So that is less useful. We don't have enough energy to play Gift of Furious Might with anything else. So let's just play Ferocious Rampage for now.
Build mountains.
And we have a city here, which is a triangle trade. So let's add a town here. And then we have a city here. It's not the best start here, but let's see if we can turn this around.
Explore wetlands.
We have an explorer here, and we have 2 explorers here. And then an persistent explorer. Now this one we can add maybe at the beast.
Slow powers.
And we have only Ferocious Rampage, but we can use our innate to reach the target range restriction here. So what do we want to kill here with Ferocious Rampage? We could either take care of the build here, or we could maybe hit something in the mountains there. Now next turn he's going to Ravage, and these Dahan are kind of in a bad spot there. So we want to defend this land, I think. We could play Carpus Land there, but we will need presence in there then. We could do that either by adding a presence, or we can move a presence in now. We don't know what we will get for next turn. I think what we are going to do is move this one in here, and then play Ferocious Rampage there, and kill off those. This way we can hit that city in the counterattack and kill that city off, and we can use Carpus Land to defend. And then we can use the other presence that we add here to add a presence in here and defend with this guy if we want to. So we don't add any blight. Of course it's a bit worrisome that we don't take care of these builds here. Maybe it would have been better to take care of that build with Ferocious Rampage. But let's do it like this.
Turn 2. Grow phase.
Let's add... Maybe we don't need a power card here. If we're going to defend with this guy and this guy, that is all we need. I think maybe we will get some energy. At some point you have to get some energy for this spirit, or you will have too little energy. So the times where you don't really need a power card, you could go with the energy option, I think. So that yeah, for example, in this turn we know that we want to play Carpus Land and Mark Territory. We only have 2 card plays, so whatever we get from that power card, we are not going to play that probably. So that is a good opportunity to instead take energy, which we will need at some point anyway.
Play powers.
So let's play those two.
Fast powers.
And we can add 6 defense here. And we can add 9 defense here. And we have 2 fear for that also. Now, one thing to note here is now I haven't taken care of any of the builds. And this is usually not a good thing. We will have difficult time next turn probably, because we will have 2 ravages here. And we also will have 2 builds to take care of for whatever is coming up here. But I think I will make an exception, because I didn't have any good way to take care of that build here. Well, I could have played versus Rampage there. Maybe that would have been better. But let's see.
Event.
We have pulled together in adversity. For the rest of this turn, ignore 1 strife. That doesn't do anything. And then we can destroy 2 explorer among lands with beast. And then when invader ravaged, if the land has the hand, defend 2. You already had defense there, so that doesn't matter.
Fear.
We have unrest. Now we can add a strife to a town. So let's add it here maybe. He will ravage there next time. Maybe we can defense here then.
Ravage. Mountains.
So this city dies. We have defense here and we have defense here.
Build. Wetlands.
This is consumed, and then we have a town, and 1 explorer becomes a town.
Explore. Sands.
So we have 2 explorers here, and we have 2 explorers here, and then we have a persistent explorer. Let's add it again in the land with the beast.
Turn 3. Grow phase.
So now we do have a kind of an ugly turn here. We have 2 ravages coming up here, and we have 2 builds here. And we don't really have that good cards left here. So I think what we have to do is try to find something now and see what we can get here. We want something with animal, but we didn't get that. We can maybe get some energy, but this one looks more promising. We can prevent the build, or we can prevent the build this way by adding a disease. But we do not have any disease out, so that is less useful. I think maybe we'll try with this guy. Defense is also good, but this one has fire, and we didn't get a fire last time, so it's time to get some fire cards, I think. We can actually use that to prevent that build in this land. So I'm going to try to do that. We need a sacred site for that. Let's add a sacred site here.
Play powers.
That way we can prevent that build. That's 2 towns that we can prevent. That's pretty good. And now we can play 1 of these. And I think we are going to go with Gift of Furious Might. That way we can do 5 damage with this guy. 1 here, 1 damage from this innate, 1 from the special rule, and 3 from this. So that's 5 damage. That's not too bad.
Fast powers.
So let's play that one. This one we play here. And this gives 1 fear per building, or 1 fear per the hand, whichever is less. And that is unfortunately 0, because we don't have any buildings there.
Event.
We have heavy farming. During the next normal ravage, each town does +1 damage. And then we have each beast destroy 1 explorer. And then we have add 1 the hunt to a jungle or wetland with the hunt. Now we could add it here, but it is going to be slaughtered just. So let's add it here.
Ravage. Wetlands.
So this is consumed. That was probably a bad placement for the strife in retrospect. But this does 1 blight here, and then this kills that Han and adds a blight here.
Build. Sands.
So this is prevented. Here we have 1 town, and 1 explorer becomes a town.
Explore. Wetlands.
And here we have 1 explorer, explorer, and then we have an escalation. And we also have a persistent explorer. We can add maybe this first. This is a persistent explorer. And the escalation is we have to add. Also look at the town here. We have 7 out of 8. We are in a really bad spot here. We have to add a blight in the wetlands. So let's do that and see what we get for blight card. Aid from Lesser Spirit is a pretty good card, but we only have we will have a cascade here, so we will only have 1 blight left if we pick this option. But still, that is a pretty good card. Let's try to use that and see what we get here for miners. We can draw 2 and use one of those. Probably the one that costs 1 energy, because we don't have to use that. We don't have to pay for this. And these also have fire and earth, very useful to reach this threshold here, or these 2 thresholds. This will give a lot of fear, which is nice, but this will also be boosted to 3 damage, so that's 1 city per turn, basically. So let's take that one. And we can play it immediately. So that was that. We added 1 blight, and now this cascades. So we can cascade it here. And that was this was the escalation. And we did do the persistent explorer, so that should be the explorer finished.
Slow powers.
So we do have rouse the trees and stones. This is target non-blight though. So we don't have that many targets for it, and it also needs a sacred site. We can kill that city maybe, or we can kill off those, but I think the city would be better for that power. That is the only 2 options I have. So let's take this stuff. 3 damage, and then we can push 1 explorer. Let's push it in here. And then we have Death Approaches, and we have a boost here, so we have +3, so that's 5 damage. We can take care of those, or we can move it in here, but it will not take care of the build, so maybe we'll take care of the Ravage for now. We only have 1 blight, so we really need to take care of every Ravage that we can. So let's play that one in this land and take care of that. Now we only have this one to consider.
Turn 4. Grow phase.
And this can be kind of tricky to defend, even if we reclaim here. This is range 0, and this is also range 0, of course. So we don't really have a good answer for that Ravage. But I think we have to reclaim anyway here, otherwise we will have such a poor turn. Let's add this one. This is add presence at 0 range. Set it there maybe.
Play powers.
And let's see, this one we can play for free. And we want to see if we can do anything about that Ravage. Don't think we have a good answer here. Since we cannot play those no use. This one we cannot play because it's target land Dahan. These do not have Dahan. So we kind of have to play something like that, I think. We do have the option to play 1 more if we want to. I don't think we cannot reach 5 animals here, so maybe we'll just save the energy here and go with something like that.
Fast powers.
We'll add some damage.
Event.
And then we have the Slave Rebellion. This will take care of 1 town. We can add strife here, and then this will be converted into a Dahan. We have depleted soil. In lands with buildings, it only takes 1 damage to add a blight. That doesn't help for this. This is only explorers. Push up to 2 explorer or 1 town from a land with beast. So we can push this guy. When invaders ravage, if the land has the hand, defend 2. So we did get a defend here, So that saved the game actually, because now we do not light out here. So that is a bit lucky.
Fear.
Invaders do not build in lands with cities. So that's also lucky. Now he won't build here.
Ravage. Sands.
So this will take care of those explorers.
Build. Wetlands.
Here we have a city, and then one explorer becomes a town.
Explore. Sands.
And then we have two explorers. We have a persistent explorer, and we have an escalation. And now we are up at 6 towns again.
Slow powers.
So let's see what we can do here. We are still not able to do much with rouse the trees here against these lands, which looks more and more ugly for every turn. This can only target land without blight. I think we'll do this one here. That's 3 damage, and then there will not be any explorers to push. So that took care of one town. But what we really want to take care of is these guys. But we do have +3 damage, and this one can do damage, and this one can take care of something. So I think what we are going to do is concentrate on this land here maybe. Now I realize what we could have done with Rouse's trees here if we go back. Instead of doing that, since we can move one presence first here, let's move one presence in here, for example, with this guy, and then we do 4 damage, or we can do 7 damage, because we have +3 if we want to. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we'll do that. We use Gift of Fury's Might together with Death Approaches. That will take care of this land. And now we do have... No, we don't. We need a Sacred Site for that. We still cannot use that to take care of these guys. So let's do that same plan then. And what about this guy? We can take care of those, and that's good enough, I think. That take care of one build. Did I take a fear for that? I forgot. Let's see. Let's go back a bit here. No, it seems I did not. So let's kill those, and then let's get 1 fear for that, and kill those explorers. So that should be it for this turn.
Turn 5. Grow phase.
So we have Ravage coming up here that we need to defend, and then we have a build here. And we probably can defend here without problem. We have Carpest Land or Marked Territories with Scars and Teeth. And maybe we should play this to prevent that build. It seems like the things that we have left here can be useful. So maybe we don't need more cards for now. We can add 1 presence instead here.
Play powers.
And then we can play... We want to play this guy. We probably want to play this because we have energy and we do get some extra fear for that. And 6 defense is probably not enough for this anyway. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 defense. It is enough for that. But maybe we want to play both. Do we have any use for this guy? Not so sure about that. We can use this guy to do some damage here, and then Innate can take care of that city. I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for. Maybe we'll just add more defense instead, save up some energy.
Fast powers.
Let's do that. 6 defense and 9 defense. And then we do this guy in here. So that should be 1 fear now, because now we have 1 building and 1 Han, and the minimum of that is 1, so that's 1 fear. And this one is slow.
Event.
We have sacred sites under threat. Each sacred site, we have one here, pushes an explorer or town to an adjacent land. Remove one blight per player from the blight card. We cannot do that, or we will lose. So we have to do this one. In each land with sacred site or invaders and invaders, we don't have any such lands, so we can choose this and then nothing happens. Each beast generates one fear if invaders are present. It is here, so that is one fear. So that is Beast Prowl, and then we have Spirit Seekers, Souls, Riddle of Power. Each beast with at least 4 Dahan. We do not have that, so let's move on.
Fear.
Now at least we have some level 2 fear cards, so that is always useful. Each player chooses a different land to isolate. Also defend 2 in those lands. Well, we don't need the defense, but we can use the isolate. Let's see here. We have either a mountain, a jungle, or a coastal that can be explored. The jungles already have an explorer, so we cannot prevent the build that way. So it's either coastal or mountains, and I think we will isolate this land. This way we will have use for the isolation in either case. So I think we will choose this land for the isolation. And then we have each player removes up to 3 health of invaders from a land with disease, or 1 explorer from an inland land. We don't have any disease, but we can remove 1 explorer here. But they are not removed, we can instead push them. And we do have to do that. We can also push this guy or this guy. Let's see, what do we want to do? Well, if there is going to be a jungle here, jungle explorer, it makes sense to move this one because this jungle is cut off. We won't get an explorer if we explore there, so maybe we'll move this guy somewhere. But we kind of don't want to move it here, because then he will build here if he explores in mountains. Same thing with this, we don't want to move him here, so maybe we'll move him in the wetlands here. He will ravage, but that's okay. It's just 1 explorer. Let's move him in there. And then we have each player chooses a different land with Dahan. 1 damage per Dahan there. So that can take care of those explorers, or we can take care of 1 explorer here. Now these explorers, they don't really bother me. We don't get anything for that. If he explores in jungles, there will be a little less explorers when he builds, but maybe we should just take care of 1 explorer here to make sure that the ravage is less dangerous next turn. Let's see, what do we have else? What's the fear card?
Ravage. Wetlands.
This doesn't do anything, and this is defended with a lot of things.
Build. Sands.
Here we have a city. That's a triangle trade city. No, wait, we did take care of that, didn't we? With rituals, of course. So we don't have any build there. And this doesn't build.
Explore. Coastal lands.
So we have an explorer. This is isolated. So that means 2 explorers here and 1 explorer here. And then we have a persistent explorer. Let's add it with the beast. And then we have no escalation because it's coastal.
Slow powers.
And now we only have this power and this power. This can only do stuff where we do not have blight. So that is not very useful now. We can only play it here, but we need a sacred site. We can produce a sacred site with this though, so let's do that. Where do we want to play this guy? We have 4 damage. We can take care of that build, and that probably seems like the best idea. This has a lot of invaders, but it won't do anything, fortunately. So let's move maybe this one in here and do 4 damage. Like that, and then we can use this guy to do 3 damage. and push one explorer. So now we don't have any builds and no ravages. Excellent.
Turn 6. Grow phase.
So that seems very promising. We just need to take care of this land now. Let's reclaim. Let's add a presence in here.
Play powers.
And let's play as much damage as possible so we can win the game. I think this looks very promising. If he doesn't do anything, we have an escalation here that can add a town. This town maybe we can kill with roasted trees though. So let's see, we want to make so much damage as possible. It is those options. This we can play for free. And now can we hit the last innate here? We need 2 animals. And we do have 2 more card plays, so that shouldn't be a problem. We don't need defense. We don't need rituals. This we can use maybe to move something in here if needed. Then we have 2 more energy. What do we need? Maybe fear then. As much fear as possible. Why not? I don't think this is going to be a problem.
Fast powers.
Let's use this somewhere. Maybe somewhere where we can use the Dahan if possible, but we cannot push any Dahan. I think we want fear, so let's just play it here. Then we can play this guy, +3.
Event.
Missionaries arrive. They teach and spread lessons of a foreign god. You may, for each board, discard the top minor power. If it has sun, push 1 explorer from a land with Dahan, otherwise replace 1 Dahan with town. We don't kind of want to do that. Can we pay for that though? I don't think we can. We can forget this. That's the only way. Then we'll get some fear, but I think that means we will lose that innate. But that doesn't really bother me though, because 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We do have a lot of damage here. We have 4 damage, we have 7 damage and 4 more, so that's enough to kill everything here. So that probably is better to just forget this guy. Let's do that. That way we don't have any extra towns and we can just take care of the escalation. The escalation will go in either jungles or mountains. So that is 1 town. We can take care of that with roses, trees and stones. And then we can take care of the rest with this guy. I think we have this game here. That beast will destroy 1 explorer from Prey Downbury.
Ravage. Sands.
And we don't have any ravages.
Build. Coastal lands.
And we don't have any builds.
Explore. Jungles.
We have an escalation. First we have an explorer. That's 2 explorer here. No explorer here because it's cut off. And the escalation adds 1 town. And we have a persistent explorer.
Slow powers.
So we can use Rouse the Trees. Let's take care of that town here. It's 3 damage and let's push 1 explorer. This can gather 1 explorer. Let's do that, and then we have 1 fear, 3 damage. That's 4 damage with our special rule, and +3, that's 7 damage against explorers and towns. And finally we have our innate, that is 4 damage, which is plenty enough to win the game. So that was Teeth versus France 6. Next time will be against England or Scotland. That is, unless I made a mistake this game also. In case we might have to play this a 3rd time. But let's hope we didn't. Bye for now.